we come to the end of our study together. Perhaps some sessions have been difficult, and others may have seemed easy. On some points we may have agreed, and on others we still may have deep differences. But I would hope that in this process we have all grown in our understanding of Christian doctrine and in our commitment to Jesus Christ and to His service. If that is the case, our time together has been well spent. Now I have a special treat for you. Dr. Ellsworth Kalas, whose weekly lessons in the study manual have guided our study, will discuss with us how what we believe makes a difference.
If doctrine is nothing more than a creed to be recited on Sunday morning, somewhere between a hymn and the offering, the weeks we have spent together in this study have hardly been worth the effort. But all of us know better than that. Beliefs make a difference, and the closer a belief is to the center of life, the greater the difference it makes. Our beliefs, in their almost infinite variety, determine everything from the toothpaste we buy to the political candidates we support, the schools we recommend to our children, and, above all, the decisions we make about eternity. As a result, everyone tries to influence our beliefs, not just preachers, teachers, parents, spouses, and friends, the persons who most directly shape our beliefs, but also books, newspapers, magazines, radio, television, and now the internet. No generation in human history has ever been so thoroughly, cleverly, and insistently pursued as is ours. And the purpose is a kind of secular evangelism. That is, the reason everyone from major corporations to high-ranking political figures is seeking entry to our minds and convictions is because they know that our beliefs are important. Once our beliefs are influenced, our time, money, hearts, and lives will follow. In all of that panoply of beliefs, none is so basic as the beliefs that spring from our religious commitments. Our Christian beliefs consciously and intentionally shape our conduct and our decisions. The political speaker or the commercial advocate generally wants only a segment of our beliefs, our vote or our purchase. But Christian beliefs call for our very souls, and they do so without apology. Unfortunately, we seldom realize how much is at stake in our believing. If we did, what a revolution it would begin. Consider how many millions of people recite the Apostles' Creed each Sunday, and in total, how many billions of declarations that adds up to in a year. Surely there ought to be a monumental accumulation of power in such a collection of believing. I've had a sense of that power several times in my life. I think especially of those occasions when I have worshiped in one of the great churches in Korea. Although the Korean Christians recite the creed in a language I don't understand, I am caught up in the power of their believing. Part of this power, I sense, is, I'm sure, the size of the congregation, some 6,000 people. And perhaps part of it lies in the Korean language itself, which is by nature forceful. But mostly the power comes from the obvious intensity of their belief. In that land where thousands of believers gather every weekday morning at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock to pray for an hour en route to their work, and where the threat of war is literally only minutes away, well, they know that their beliefs matter. Their recitation of the creed is like a grand, blessed thunder. Is it possible for the creed and the beliefs it declares to mean that much to us? No, not if the secret of great believing is in external circumstances. Fortunately, the secret is not in our circumstances, but in God and in our walk with God. This year of study has been a huge step in the right direction. Uninformed believer is an oxymoron, contradictory terms. How can one believe in what one doesn't know? Of course, knowledge itself won't make one a believer, but one can hardly be much of a believer without some solid base of knowledge. And the better that base of knowledge, the more solid the believing. Then, too, we want to remind ourselves that our beliefs are toughened in the daily crucible of living. Perhaps none of us will ever be forced to confess our beliefs before a firing squad, but we will confess our beliefs every day in the settings of school, work, and social life, in shopping malls and sports arenas, with our checkbooks, and on the internet. The faith of a martyr is usually demonstrated in a single act or in a series of crucial events. Most of us will demonstrate our beliefs over years upon years of laughter and tears, through conversations and letters, casual passings and poignant moments. Obviously, our role is much less dramatic than that of the martyrs, but integrity is as much of an issue, and the same ultimates are at stake. Indeed, in some ways, you and I face a more difficult battle, simply because the opposition we confront is more subtle. 2 centuries ago, a prominent German theologian spoke of Christianity's cultured despisers. If he lived among us today, he would find plenty of material for a second chapter. Christian beliefs are disparaged daily in press, radio, and television, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. One must be intellectually tough to keep the faith today and to declare beliefs without embarrassment. We are also in danger of an erosion of belief because Christian doctrine is often neglected even in the Christian pulpit. Many quite earnest church people say it doesn't matter what you believe as long as you're sincere. Politicians know better than this, and so do doctors and lawyers. But Christians sometimes think they are being uncharitable if they hold strong beliefs. We ought rather to remind ourselves that if our beliefs are redemptive, we owe it to our society to uphold those beliefs with charity by all means, but also with grace and conviction. And let us continue to sing our faith. I have often wished I could compose music so that I might celebrate my faith with trumpets, timpani, woodwinds, and strings. But then I remind myself that I'm already rich in the music of believing. When Fanny Crosby heard a tune that her friend Phoebe Knapp had just written, she said, "That sounds like Blessed Assurance." All of us agree now that it sounds like that, and we sing doctrine as Miss Crosby wrote it. Heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. When we sing with Martin Luther, "A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing," we have declared something of the doctrine of God as Luther believed it, and as we have experienced it. We don't know who it was in the Middle Ages who wrote, "O sacred head now wounded, with grief and shame weighed down." But we know that he or she owned the same beliefs you and I do of salvation through Christ. And because we believe so deeply, we love to sing with Charles Wesley, "To serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. Oh, may it all my powers engage to do my Master's will." Oh, there's no end to the singing because there's no way to measure the power and reach of the believing. We do know in any event that we possess and are possessed by beliefs that make us sing. I venture that no other institution, no nation, no belief system has inspired so many songs. So call me a believer, a Christian believer among believers, an extraordinary company to which to belong. So many millions over the centuries have died for these beliefs, and so many billions in every part of the world recite and sing these beliefs every day. And the more we learn of these beliefs and practice them, the more we know that they matter for now and for eternity. Amen.